Live with Bob Hansen, Tom Luchak, Sean O'Malley, Adam Fitzgerald, and Andy Van Meer. This is Buffalo After Dark.
All right. Welcome to Buffalo After Dark, everybody. It's finally time. Season 2. We are back.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, as you know, I'm Tom. We got Bobby here. How you doing?
Good. I'm actually all shined up, ready to go. took a 1-week vacation with my fiance to Tennessee, and I came back Sunday morning, and I'm all set, ready to go.
Awesome. And then, of course, Mr. Bubba Matt, you've got your own show now with the Seattle Kraken on our channel, but how's everything going? It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, everything's going good. No, just been busy with life, but I'm actually excited for hockey. So come on, let's get the games going. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we've got Andy Van Meer coming back for season 2, his first full season with us. How's it going?
Good. Just my favorite time of the year. Football's on. Hockey's about to get going. Watched the Sabres Prospects Challenge game in-house for the first time ever. It was a good time, good game.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, and UPL looked pretty good in that first game.
Excellent. Nothing was getting past him that game. That was a phenomenal Prospects game. No, they lost the second one, but this one was great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember seeing UPL the first time you ever played in the Prospects game a couple of years ago. I mean, absolutely loved watching them, and I think, compared to who we have in net now, of course, we saw at the end of last season, Andrew Dell, and then of course Anderson.
Yeah.
We all remember what happened on that. But yeah, good old Craig Anderson, he ain't even close to doing anything right. So anyways, we got a lot to pack into an hour. So of course, if you guys want to get on the show, 929-205-6099, just make sure you dial in the meeting ID and passcode, which are on live on Facebook right now. Also, of course, we've got the live chat going on too, so absolutely feel free to talk to us. We've got an hour. Let's make it count. Hotbox, let's jump right into the Buffalo Bills, and they absolutely annihilated Miami on Sunday.
Yeah, they did. Freaking 35-0. And you know what the scary thing is? I don't think Josh Allen was even trying the way he performed. If you think about it.
I don't know. I mean, Allen came out today. He basically said, look, I am fully aware that I played like absolute shit the last 2 weeks, and I'm looking to get better, and I will get better. It's just going to take a little time. So he did come out basically and said that today. So I respect a player who basically is his own critic, basically, and basically said, look, I look like shit, and I'm going to look to bounce back eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but on the bright side, our running game looked freaking solid.
Oh, yeah, Zach Moss, 2 touchdowns. I mean, how about that one where he ended up taking that wicked shoulder hit and he still ended up scoring?
Oh, yeah. That was magical.
Yep.
That was beautiful. And then Singletary ended up breaking free, and he got 45 yards on that run?
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was pretty...
Yeah. What was
and
that?
What was that?
46 yards.
Beautiful. It was finally nice. We finally had a balanced offense compared to week 1 where we were just throwing the ball. And I will say, to the defense's credit, I mean, compared to what we did with Pittsburgh, I mean, yes, we did hold them to those points. And at the same time, I mean, we held them basically 3 points, in that first half or whatever it was. But the thing is that, I mean, we had no offense. So that's what killed us against Pittsburgh. Miami shot themselves in the foot so many times during that game. It was absolutely pathetic for them.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that game? I was reading the comments while I was in Tennessee all week from Dolphins fans, and all they kept talking about was, we beat the Patriots. We're going to beat the Bills so easily. And then the next thing you know, they were so confident. They're so happy. And then they end up getting shut out 35-0. And then it's like, oh, my feelings. They got shut out. I thought we were going to be better. And then the next thing you know, AJ Epinesa ends up fucking destroying Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, out with
he got a broken rib from that.
Yeah, that dude got destroyed.
You know, it's like the first 2 series, and he got sacked like how many times?
Sure, I think it was like 3 times in 1 quarter or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Oh
Actually,
gosh.
yeah, 6.
6 times. Jeez.
Yeah.
And I think, and I've read recently that I think Tua's out for the next game.
That's
Yeah.
nothing.
And Jacoby Brissett didn't fare that much better either.
No, he didn't.
You ever just think maybe the Dolphins somehow kind of regret letting Ryan Fitzpatrick go?
I mean, they probably do to an extent, but here's the other problem that the Dolphins have is that they have like virtually no protection on the line. I mean, you have linebackers. How do you not utilize your linebackers properly? And how is it that you leave the sides wide open to where you can have an Epinesa just run straight up and just totally cold clock your quarterback?
That's a great question, honestly. But you know what, though? I will say this. You know who had a really solid week? Gregory Rousseau.
Yes.
Yes. Oh man.
He had a coming out day for sure.
Didn't he have like 2 sacks against Jacoby Brissett?
Yeah. Several pressures too.
Oh man, that's gotta be fun. So
yeah,
I
he
mean,
had to talk about a homecoming for him.
Yeah, for real. On the same field where he played college ball.
Yeah.
And you know what's really funny too is I also found a stat on Buffalo Fanatics' website earlier today on Instagram, and I was looking at the stats between Buffalo and Washington. As we currently speak, as of this video, the Bills are ranked as the number 2 defense in the entire NFL right now.
Yep, I saw that post. That is awesome.
Yeah, when you have young, fresh blood legs going, that's the results you're going to get. I mean, you have Epinesa, you have Rousseau, you have Oliver. That's right there, a 3-headed monster on your front 7.
Absolutely.
So Buffalo's stacked right now as far as their defensive players are concerned.
Yeah. And the great thing is through the draft and how we've actually built the team, we're very balanced. I mean, we're not a super old team and we're not a super young team, but definitely youth is in our favor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
That's going to kill Kansas City long term.
Yeah. Oh, how about that play at the end of that game? Kansas versus Baltimore.
Gosh.
Fumbled twice and Lamar got the first down.
Oh,
What
man.
was up with that?
No idea. Holy crap.
I mean, Kansas City, first you let Baltimore come back in a game that you were totally crushing them in the first half. Then on top of it, you fumble the ball twice on your last possession. I mean, come on. It was the same carry and you fumbled twice.
That's embarrassing.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then Lamar Jackson only needed like 4 yards, and there you go, kill the clock and game over. Thank you, Baltimore, for beating Kansas City on that one because that helps us in the standings.
You're welcome. What about Kansas? What about San Francisco? How do you think they did this week?
Pretty good.
Yeah, is your bandwidth okay?
It jumps.
Yeah, it's kind of shot, basically.
Yeah, it's up and it just goes in and out from time to time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because you're like, whenever you talk, it's like it really just like cracks up, basically.
Does it? I don't know. Oh, well, they're doing well.
For the time being. How about Carolina? Carolina looks really good.
Ooh,
Man.
they beat the stuffing out of New Orleans. Where did that come from?
Or better yet,
yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, Sam Darnold had a coming out party week 1, and then he really ended up coming out week 2. I mean, that line that Carolina is quietly building, I mean, it's going to be a good line for quite a few years. And I mean, McCaffrey, their receivers, they're looking great.
They do. I mean, remember when we all laughed at that Darnold trade and
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Adam still hates it, which I'm actually wondering if he's like high right now or something. But I mean, because he would have been here, I would have thought. But at the same time, I'm like, Sam Darnold, talk about looking like a 100%, like a total 180 from when he was with the Jets. It's like, wow, it's amazing what having a couple of offensive weapons can actually do to your game when you actually have protection in the pocket and you can actually make a throw.
Absolutely. I mean, look at him now. I mean, he went from having Le'Veon Bell, who did barely nothing. The Jets had like no receivers to having. Yeah, even now they don't.
They still don't.
You know what's really
They're
funny?
actually worse.
You know what's really funny is I know a lot of friends locally who are huge Jets fans, and they're all telling me a couple years ago, they were like, they're going to be better than the Bills. You know, Joe Douglas is building a great team, blah, blah, blah. And now it's getting to the point now, and I was having this conversation the other day. Guess out of the whole entire 2020 draft class that the Jets had, guess how many players, aside from Becton, is on the active roster? Take a guess.
Yeah, like none.
Take a guess.
Freaking who knows?
They had 9 picks. How many are still on the team?
0, I'm guessing.
Andy, any guesses?
3.
Close. 1.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah. And yet Denzel Mims doesn't play. Mekhi Becton's injured. Bryce Hall is injured. And, you know, James Morgan got cut. He went to the Panthers. So half of the players either got traded or got cut or injured. It's one way or the other. The only active player on the Jets team from 2020's draft class that's on the team currently is Ashton Davis.
Wow.
Yeah.
They got a lot of stuff to figure out.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. So one player is actively on the 2020 roster from the draft class for the Jets that's currently on the team. And then it gets worse. The Jets are looking to trade Denzel Mims already.
What?
Jeez
Already?
Louise.
Yeah, I just found that out like yesterday that the Jets are looking to trade him.
Well, talk about the Jets can't make up their mind on anything.
It's so embarrassing.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, but the question is, what team needs a receiver and could use Denzel Mims? And every other Jet fan I know have either said Denzel Mims is fucking useless or he doesn't play. So it's like, then why did you trade up for him if he's not going to play for you?
I mean, this is a waste of draft capital right there because you could have used that and easily done another pick, or you could have packaged it and actually gotten yourself a decent player.
Yeah, and it gets worse too, is Joe Douglas traded, I think, a handful of draft picks to the Eagles, and they were very high on Denzel Mims. And this was before Devontae Smith. So they were very high on him. And the next thing you know, the Jets traded up and got him, and they drafted Denzel Mims. And they were acting last year when he first came out of, what was it, West Virginia? Or it might have been, no, it was Baylor. And the next thing you know, Jets fans were like, oh, he's going to be a great player with Sam Darnold. He's going to do this. He's going to be this. He's going to do that. It's like, I haven't seen shit, okay? I get Jets coverage all the time. This guy has done nothing for the Jets. Robert Saleh does not like him. Joe Douglas doesn't even use the guy. So, and I said this before to many people before the show, is if you're going to have a successful team compared to what the Bills did with McDermott and Bean, you have to go double dipping on executives. You have to get your coach and you have to get your general manager from the same team. You can't just have a coach and then get the GM later. You can't do that. That's why the Jets are in this mishmash of utter crap right now. And a lot of people are now asking themselves, do you fire Joe Douglas at some point?
It's an interesting question. I mean, I would think that if it's between Douglas and Saleh, I mean, watch, you'll probably end up canning Saleh first, but yet, I mean, we can't blame it on Robert Saleh, really. I mean, the way that the Jets drafted, I mean, they need help on every single area of their team. I mean, they virtually they're like the laughing stock of the conference right now.
Yeah, and not to mention, Zach Wilson had 4 fucking interceptions on Sunday
Oh God.
against the Patriots.
Man.
4 interceptions against the Patriots. That is like Nate Peterman legendary status.
That makes Sanchez's ass fumble look better than anything before.
Right?
Rookie quarterback going through some growing pains.
Yeah, you could still have growing pains. I mean, Josh Allen wasn't even that bad in his rookie year.
No.
Let's be honest.
Right, and he didn't even have half the weapons he has now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced that the Jets are going to go anywhere with either Zach Wilson or anybody at this point. Until the Jets actually have a legit like GM and a legit coach, I want to give Saleh a chance because this is only his first year. I'm going to give him this year and next year. And if they don't improve, there's going to be a lot of heads rolling within the New York Jets. And I almost certainly guarantee that.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't think it could necessarily get worse than when they had Todd Bowles over coaching the team.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But of course, we're going to keep on going, and we've got a few more things we're going to cover before the end of the hour. So if you guys want to jump on, we're on live Facebook right now. Dial up 929-205-6099. That gets you to talk with all of us. Have a take, don't suck. So let's talk a little bit about some other news that came out today. And of course, one of the big things is that the Buffalo Sabres have extended Rasmus Dahlin. He's going to be extended for the next 3 years, $6 million a year. Actually, not a bad signing.
I mean,
not at all. I didn't think he was going to get 6. I thought he was going to get maybe 4.5, 5 per. I think 6 is not bad. It's a nice 3-year contract, and he's an RFA after, which is a good thing to have.
Yeah, absolutely, and we have the right to match it. So, I mean, and I think he's going to keep improving. I mean, he's done a lot of good things, his first couple of years with the Sabres. I mean, I do like a lot of his game. And I think now, as long as we can keep everything in good shape, as long as Granato keeps working with the team, and as long as he keeps letting them play to their strengths, I mean, I think that, we should have a better, I'm praying to whatever is like, we all can do this. We can pray to whatever God we look at. Let's pray there's a better season, because we need something to finally happen with this team.
Yeah, I don't think so. After the news that came out today, I do not think that's going to be the case.
John?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why you all looking at me. I'm covering the Kraken.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah, you got a good roster.
Like that game Among Us. It's like, who's the imposter? That guy.
Right. But
yeah,
I will say this though. At least Rochester right now, they should have another decent season. I mean, they've been building up that team for the last couple seasons. I look forward to seeing what they can do down there also, because I mean, with UPL coming back and of course with the depth that they've been starting to build, I mean, I'm really thinking that that's going to be a huge help going forward. I will say this: one thing that Botterill did not suck at was rebuilding the Amerks, because Murray totally destroyed that team. I mean, he was too focused on the Sabres getting all the big names like of course, O'Reilly and everybody else. But at least Botterill rebuilt that team. So thank goodness for that. He just couldn't do jack for the Sabres.
Yeah, at some point. But I feel like that there's more to this. I mean, you said earlier that you were hoping for things to happen with the Sabres earlier, right? You said that?
Yeah, I hope something decent will happen. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe UPL will finally get a shot to start net consistently.
Well, did you hear the news that's been coming out lately about Jack Eichel?
Oh, about the possible neck surgery?
Well, no. The report came out, and it was from Elliot Freeman. He stated yesterday, and as of yesterday, he was saying yesterday in quotation, as of today, it hasn't happened thus far, but I'm assuming it's going to happen soon, is Elliot Freeman is predicting that he fully expects Jack Eichel to fail his physical. And once he fails his physical, they're going to strip the captaincy away from him.
Good. He didn't deserve it in the first place.
Well, I mean, I thought so in the beginning, but then it just feels like over time, it's just got worse and worse and worse between Jack Eichel and the team. I mean, think of all the distractions that come about. And even to this point, the Sabres are still stubbornly holding their ground. And I respect them for that, because they're the ones that are holding the contract. Right. They're the ones that are holding the cards. Jack Eichel, just because he's their best player, doesn't mean that he gets to dictate how the team runs the organization. That's not his place.
Exactly. And that's actually, of course, notice how he ended up having to find a new agent very quickly after he didn't get his way the first time.
Because Peter Fish didn't do anything for Jack Eichel. And he's now bringing in the big cheese, the big guns, Pat Brisson, who pretty much corresponds with half of of the big elites in the NHL, like Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby, Patrick Kane. He's pretty much an agent for all these people. I think Jonathan Taves as well. So now he's a representative for Jack Eichel. So now it's getting to a point where it's like, okay, what do we do from here? And there was some compromisation because Eichel is going to be training with the Sabres. But I'm now starting to think, because of all the drama that's leading up to the start of the season within a month from now, maybe 2 weeks, I would totally suspect that he's going to pull off at Deshaun Watson because he's still angry that he didn't get the surgery that he wanted for his back. And there's been talks that if he got the surgery now, he would not be able to participate in the 2022 Olympics in Beijing with Team USA. Right. So he wouldn't be able to compete for that. Right. So the question now becomes, what goes on from here?
It all depends, man. It all depends when he can finally get down to figuring out this surgery for him. He's going to come in. He'll probably fail the physical. Of course, he's going to come in and get it because, well, sit out, get paid. Why not? I make $10 million. I got to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, yeah, he works for the team. He has no choice. And plus,
yeah,
I think his ignorance from a few years ago when he signed that contract, I think his ignorance and his ego got the best of him. Because if you remember the dilemma from a couple of years ago with Ryan O'Reilly, and it was between the two of them to see who would get the captaincy. And it turned out to be Ryan O'Reilly was the one to go because he said, quote, I lost my passion for the game, gets traded to the Blues, which at the time I thought it was a good deal. And then a year later wins the cup and wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. And Jack Eichel is stuck in Buffalo, and he's still just getting worse and worse and worse. So maybe at this point, people are pretty much done with Jack Eichel at this point. As talented as he is, you have to get rid of him at some point. You have to.
Everybody wants the side to be over with. They want the trade, they want the value back, and they want to be done and move on at this point. But, you got to trust the GM, and hopefully he can he's holding his guns still. It's September now. He's still holding his guns, even with a new agent for Jack. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes on here. I think after tomorrow, when we find out if he fails or passes his physical, what goes on with that from here on out? Because it's gonna take him out of the Olympics. That's gonna probably crush him even more. He only has his past agent to blame for that, for adding fuel to the fire at such a bad time. So yeah, he gets what he gets for that. I mean, it's just, I don't even care anymore. I'm just waiting for it to be over with. I'm focused on this team now. The young guys look good team from a certain point of view. A lot of the prospects, I should say, look pretty well when I watched them. But yeah, I'm focused on this team now. Let's leave Jack in the shadows and let them work that out. I don't care. As long as they get something done for the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, actually, Andy, you bring up a good point here, and I figure, it's good to talk a little bit more about the prospects here. But when you ended up seeing that, what was your overall thoughts about the action you saw? Because I know a couple of the prospects I'm high on, of course, anyone that's ever watched a show for any length of time knows I absolutely love what UPL can do. But the other prospects I'm really enjoying right now, Matty Pecker, I mean, that guy just straight up, he will piss people off and he's not afraid to hit. And I love that.
That's right.
A lot of the prospects played very well, especially the first line put together. Paterno, Murray, and Quinn centering. I know a lot of people were confused by that, but they said since he could drive plays, they wanted to see how he would be at center, which is fine. Don't matter to me. More of these coaches like to see players that can play multiple positions. Turco, like I've watched him in juniors with Stutzla playing together, he looked very good. Brett Murray, he played top. He made a good net front presence. I mean, the goalie was looking over him trying to find the play. I mean, he was very tough to move out of the front. If he just transition his game from the AHL level to the NHL level, I mean, he'll be fine. He'll be like the modern day Dave Andrewchuk, just parking in front of the net and get those garbage goals. Jack Quinn looked okay. Looked a little out of sorts at center, but he played well. First defensive pairing of Jackson and Samuelson. Samuelson was amazing. Throwing the body, made good plays, was kind of a leader out there. And Jackson played well. Did very well on the power play. He was kind of quarterbacking the first unit. Josh Bloom played well. Tyler Kozak, another late round pick, he played okay. They were somewhat noticeable. Linus Weisbeck, he came out of nowhere. He's got some blazing speed. If he could only finish, he would have had a couple goals in the first game. He had at least, I know he had 2 breaks. I don't know the third. He didn't convert, but he's got some speed. I expect him to be in the AHL. I expect him to be in Rochester. Another guy was going to play well was Olivier Nadeau, was another power forward that the Sabres drafted. He looked okay, but he looked like he was kind of just stuck in transitioning. UPL looked amazing, of course. Nothing would got by him. And he looked really focused, even though he didn't got maybe 16 or 17 shots. Okay. He made a few very great saves, I should say. But they did have a lockdown pair of some no-name defensemen. I know one of them was Nick Boca, and I forgot who was paired with, but they were totally shut down pair. They weren't letting anything go by them or get through them. It was kind of interesting to see. So I'm wondering when they go to training camp if they'll spend at least in Rochester if they play together. I can't remember who it is who he played with next to, but he played very well. That's all I can really say about what I saw in the first game. The second game, I kind of watched some of it and kind of went back and forth with it. But, Murray and Petrka, they had both good prospect challenges. And that's all I can say about that for a repertoire.
Cool.
But what was I going to say? So aside from the whole prospect pool thing, because you have to understand, neither Sean or myself were able to watch the games because we don't live in Buffalo. So I was able to get some of the highlights for those games. And I do agree with half of what you just said. So I'm pleased with that. But as far as Sean's opinion goes with the whole Jack Eichel scenario, how do you feel about it before we move forward?
I mean, it's unfortunate the way things went down with him. I still got his freaking Sabres jersey when he got drafted with the team.
Yeah, I still have one too. His original number.
But if this is the way he's going to act, then the Sabres got to get rid of him.
Yeah, they're going to have to. But the problem is nobody wants what the Sabres price is asking is for. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they got to figure out something.
Well,
Right.
they can't keep Jack Eichel for that long. I mean, if he's this big of a distraction, he's only going to hurt the team. And now the question becomes, and this is my last one about the situation before we move forward, is do you guys think, and just be honest, do you feel with the failures in the last 6 years, do you think that Eichel's arrogance got in the way of this downfall?
Good question. I think in some ways probably yes, because I understand his point of wanting excellence on the team. I understand his point of wanting to win. Everybody wants to win. I do think it's a combination of that, and there's a combination of the failure of management too. Because obviously, when we look at the GMs that have been here, Botterill and Murray, they didn't build around him appropriately. They didn't get him all the weapons that really could have helped move us into being a better team. Now, yes, there were some pieces that were brought in. Of course, Evander Kane. We had Ryan O'Reilly here for a short time. We ended up bringing in Robin Leonard. There are some pieces that could have worked out. But when you look at it on that side of things, Robin Leonard, he went out to Vegas. Now he's playing in Vegas. You look at Ryan O'Reilly. He goes out there, wins the Stanley Cup with St. Louis. When you look at the pieces that were brought in, Eric Stahl, another example, gets traded to Montreal. It's almost like, how are you trading for all of these pieces and not really giving thought about how they're going to actually work in the system here, because that's another issue we've had. So many coaching changes, no consistent system. That's where the Bills kick the Sabres' ass right now, because Sean McDermott's back and they've had a consistent system since day one. And he's got a lot of the same players since day one. So they've all been able to gel together. That hasn't happened here. And of course, one of the things I have to bring up again, like I've done before on After the Horn, which will be coming up next month, we'll debut that again. But Terry Pegula, please, Kim Pegula, please stop being stubborn and hire yourself a damn president of hockey operations for a change.
Yeah. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Tom. I feel like this goes both ways. But I feel like the Sabres' failures I feel like it made Eichel's arrogance even worse than it was originally.
Yeah, I would suspect so. And what about you, Andy, before we move on?
2 words. This team is a Rubik's Cube. Messing around, trying to get everything lined up to fit, and it just hasn't happened at the right time. Players, getting the right players at the right time, all at once to make a great team moving forward. It just hasn't been aligned yet. They're still working the Rubik's Cube. Now, with star players coming and going, Jack is the next one out, most likely. And now it's tear down and build up again with the young kids like a Rubik's Cube. Just trying to get the young players that they're going to find here moving forward, and then eventually, start fitting in veterans, like better veterans, like scoring veterans via trade, via signing, or and just hopefully it all fits at the same time. When you look back at, the 2005 and 2016, the players you traded for, the players that came up through the system, you all came at the right time. It fit. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it fit at the right time. But isn't another star like Jack. Depending on what you get back for him, who knows where it's going to, I guess, just keep doing the Rubik's Cube till it gets all aligned. They'll get it eventually, hopefully. That's what we're praying for.
Yeah, it's a good thought. And one last thing before Bobby, you move us on. I will say this: I am looking forward to seeing what Rasmus Asplund can do this year, because he had a pretty nice debut with us, and just seeing what he's going to bring to the table, and knowing with Dahlin being back and Dahlin turning the corner once Granato came in and took over from Ralph Kruger, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the younger guys can do on this team. And I think that now that last season, they started to learn how to win towards that back stretch. They didn't win all the games, obviously, but they finally started to compete and they started to play better as a whole team. And I think if we can get to that point, we have some of those good line combinations come back, or actual line combinations that make sense, unlike what Kruger did, then I think that'll be half the battle right there. So that's my take. But anyways, guys, we've got to have about a half hour to go. So of course, if anyone's watching and you want to jump on, feel free. Of course, number and everything's in the chat. Bobby, take us to our next topic.
All righty. So the next topic we have going on here is, here we go. This one pissed off Andy over the week because I got his reaction about it. Andrew Peters and Gregory Rivet are both out of the Instigators, and Marty Biron and Brian Duff will indeed take over the show.
What the hell is happening? I'm still trying to figure out what happened with that. Why? Were they upset because the show went from 2 hours to 1 hour? I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on with that.
Yeah, the two of them were good together.
I like the show. I really did, and I'm very shocked that they left. There's a reason behind it. I don't know if it's because it went from 2 hours to 1. I don't know. Which 2 hours is enough. It's fine. From 12, it's perfect. You give Bills 3 hours, Sabres get 2. Whatever. Yeah. But if you're going to shorten it, please tell the folks that are watching why it went from 2 hours to 1 now. I want to say that's the reason they left, but who knows? Well, that'll maybe come out later.
Yeah. What do you think, Sean?
I mean, I feel like it's. I mean, I feel like it's good for the whole brand, because and also you got to think about people's attention span. It's not as, it's not as I want to say long as it probably used to back when they were younger, and they want to see something done and over with, so.
Absolutely. I mean, I never really watched the show, let alone listen to it, because I live in a different region. But a lot of people have said that they like those two and they were entertaining. But
It was a good show.
Yeah, with Rivet and Peters. I mean, they've even made a little mini documentary about the two of them.
Yeah, two of them got along well together. I mean, they had pretty good on-air talent together. So it was kind of surprising to hear when that came up. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, I don't mind Duff and Baran for the actual Sabres games themselves, doing the intermission coverage, pregame and postgame. But Andrew Peters and Rivet were just hilarious together, and they brought up a lot of good points.
Yeah, brought up a lot of good points. They had a lot of good people on the show. I really want to know why they left the show. It bogged me, because as much as I don't mind Duffer, Marty, it's just I don't really listen to Marty that long for an hour. Like some of his skits are just like, okay, all right, Marty.
Right. But another question I could always bring up, I mean, do you think it's a cost reduction move by Pagula Sports and Entertainment?
I wouldn't be surprised, because they're a bunch of fucking cheap bastards.
Andy, I see you got your friend here.
Yeah, my buddy's here. He wants to come on the show. Say hi, Case.
Hey, buddy.
What? Who is it?
It's my dog, dumbass.
Oh, I thought it was one of your friends. Hi, Dougie. Yeah, he's so cute.
Yep.
All right, bud. You got enough time.
Reminds me of when I had my yellow lab and my Yorkie mix.
Well, that's the best dog ever.
Yeah, the two of them I had, they were awesome. I love labs.
Yeah, I remember having a dog that was just like that. His name was Sean. Oh wait, he's right there.
Oh, funny.
All right, we're
funny.
I'm busting balls, I am.
Right, we had to do that at some point in episode 1 of season 2.
Absolutely. Sean, do you have any information on the Kraken that has been coming up lately?
Actually, there's let's see. Well, our first ever preseason game is this coming Sunday. We got I think the Vancouver Canucks at home.
Ooh, nice.
And also we have a birthday on the team, and his name is Alexander Wenberg.
Oh, right.
All
So
right.
Alexander Wenberg is now what, 28? No.
He is 27.
Okay, so he's around nobody's age.
Pretty much.
Yeah. By the way, did any of you see Media Day for the NHL in Chicago? Did anybody see that?
No.
I didn't even hear of it.
Yeah, it's basically Media Day. It was where they started taking pictures of all the players and their new free agent signings, and took pictures with them in their uniforms and stuff like that. And they saw a bunch of them with the Kraken. There was Philip Grubauer. There was one about Jordan Eberle that I saw. And the one, of course, that's been coming up, because this was on the Florida Panthers website, was Sam Reinhart. Oh, my God, that made my eyes burn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, I got to see that. I got to view that.
Want me to send you the pictures? I'll be more than happy to.
Do you have a video of it at all? Or?
Well, it's literally just
I know the Sabres did.
He's just like, it's literally just him staring at the wall. He's just as angry as he was when he left Buffalo. So.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to show it to you. Here it is. I found it. So, Andy, here it is. I'll send it to everybody so you can see it. There you go. Boom. You can check it out for yourself. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh, 13, huh?
Oh, God.
23-13.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that made my eyes hurt.
Yeah.
Did you
definitely.
watch the embedded Sabres embedded series, the recent one? Yeah, why do you look so mad? Same for chill out, man.
I was in the middle of the woods, so no, I wasn't able to see that.
Oh, when you watch it, you'll see. Listen, when you watch it, please watch it. I'll even send it to you if you need me to. But when you watch it, listen to the conference call or listen to what was said after conference call with them. Sam was kind of sad to kind of leave, so just keep that in mind.
On the other hand, too, he's probably happy to get out of a dumpster fire.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why he's looking so freaking in the picture, though. I mean, come on, man. You're Sonny Furta playing for a team that's on the rise.
Yeah.
You could tell just from looking at those pictures, you could just tell that he's very upset.
I don't know.
Things got to remember, hockey is a business.
Yeah,
Yep.
I feel like not just hockey, but I feel like in any sport when a new player leaves to go to a new team, depending on the situation, they always seem to be very sad. Like, you know, if you're like a longtime fan of like a certain player, like I'm just gonna throw it out there. Like Stephon Diggs, when he got traded to the Bills, he was like all hunky dory, he was perfectly fine. But when somebody within the organization, like LaShawn McCoy, he wasn't happy when he first came here, and he was like, he looked really miserable in his first year.
Yeah, and then he warmed up and really began to enjoy this area here.
So it worked out well. But
yeah. Hell, even Jim Kelly hated Buffalo originally, and now he can't stop talking great things about it.
Of course. But the one I remember the most is, I don't know if you remember this. Remember the whole saga? I know Sean will remember this. I'm pretty sure you too will. Remember the whole scenario with Matt Duchene where he won it out of Colorado a few years ago?
Yep.
Do you remember that? Yeah, and during media day in Colorado, he took his picture and he looked like this. Just like that. He was just really, really pissed. He didn't want to be there. And then like a month after that picture was taken, he got traded to the Ottawa Senators.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm saying. And you look at that, and you look at how frustrated he was being there and wanted to leave. And you've seen what it, even though it's a different scenario technically with Jack, but do you see what they got back in return for a guy like Duchene?
Yeah, Matt.
You can't tell me with a healthy, or at least an Eichel that will be ready to go on the ice, that you can't get a similar package to that coming back.
Right. Or even go back a little further. Remember when Eric Lindros was first drafted in the league? He was drafted by the Quebec Nordiques, and they refused to play for him, and then he went to the Philadelphia Flyers.
Oh my God, I remember that. I wasn't even born yet. I was in my mom's.
Thank you, Eric Lindros.
Yeah. Oh God, they got a massive ransom for that one.
Who else did that recently?
Yes. And my favorite player went to Quebec.
Oh God. And who was that? Peter Forsberg?
Yep.
Go figure. That was my brother's
part of the package.
Yep. Forsberg had a hell of a career with Colorado.
Absolutely. Who else did that? Didn't Pittsburgh did that with Marc-Andre Fleury in like 2003, and Florida had the first overall pick, and they ended up trading it because Fleury didn't want to go to Florida, and he ends up going to Pittsburgh via trade. Then that happened. Or I know for a fact it happened in the NFL with Eli Manning. I know that for a fact. That he wasn't very happy to be on the Chargers, and then he got traded to the Giants for Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. And Eli Manning went on to be the best quarterback that the Giants had.
But do you debate, though, that he's the best they've ever had?
I'd have to look back. Yeah, I mean,
that's debatable.
And I agree, it is debatable. I mean, on one hand, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings, but on the other hand, he's also had some mediocre numbers post those Super Bowl rings.
Right. I mean, his winning percentage wasn't that great.
No. And there's no argument either that Peyton Manning was definitely better than Eli. There's no question about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. But when you look
But-
at yeah, sorry, Andy, go ahead.
No, okay. I was just gonna say, I mean, it goes hand in hand when you win a couple of Super Bowls. Does it really matter if you have the numbers? Because they're gonna look at you at the end of the day that you won a couple Super Bowls, and if you're at least a halfway decent player, there's no need that great of numbers, really. I don't think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Manning,
Especially
went,
at quarterback.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, Eli Manning, he went 117 and 117 over his career. So, I mean, that's what happened. But he also had 210 straight. Well, he had 210 consecutive starts. So, I mean, that's pretty damn good right there. But I mean, the 2 Super Bowls, I mean, that's huge. Then when you look at some of the other QBs that they've had, I mean, Phil Simms was one example that's considered one of the best the Giants ever had. Then there was Tittle, if you go back to like the 60s, Charlie Connery, even further back. But then it's like, I totally forgot about Jeff Hostetler.
Jeff Hostetler, I remember that guy.
Yeah. And then there was Kerry Collins also. So
Oh,
Yeah, I remember Kerry Collins.
Yeah, between Sims and when Manning was drafted.
How did the Giants have Kerry Collins and you managed to go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, seriously.
How do you do that? That's just beyond me. I
Just
really
catch fire, man. All I gotta do is catch fire at the right time.
beats me. I don't know. The Giants are just such an awkward team for me. I don't know.
They
Yeah,
are.
but the one thing that Eli can say that Peyton can't say, that he's beaten Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice.
And on top of that, gave us 18-1.
Mhm.
That too.
So I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it really just depends who you talk to, because Eli Manning gets a lot of criticism regarding his play in terms like after the Super Bowl, and like he wouldn't be able to lead a team, and they tried to make him extend his career longer with the addition of Saquon Barkley, but it just never really gelled. And then of course they ended up making that big ass laughing stock of a fucking deal in 2019 to get freaking Daniel Jones of all people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing pains.
Yeah. Jones has had a fun intro to the NFL.
I don't know. I can't get a glimpse on Jones. I really can't. It's his 3rd year already, and I just don't know if he's going to be a starter going forward. I mean, David Gettleman really wants him to be a Hall of Famer. He really wants him to succeed, but I just don't see it happening. I don't know why. I don't think Daniel Jones is the guy the Giants desperately need. I think they got to move on from Jones at some point, because the way the Jets did with Darnold, they got to at least get rid of Daniel Jones, because I feel like he's not going to succeed in the NFL because they have never been able to put a decent team around him.
I think if they get a better line in front of him, just a little bit better, you might have a fair shot.
I don't know. The Giants are just there.
They got weapons. They got weapons for him. Ingram, Slayton, Shepard, Galloway. He's got weapons. Barkley's back.
Yeah, but he's got weapons, but he has no protection.
Right. Like I said, give him another year in the draft. Maybe they can solidify that line, and maybe next year they'll be good to go.
I can't even name one player on the defensive side of the football for the Giants.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Williams? There's one of those big Williams guys on the line.
Oh, Leonard Williams.
Leonard
Oh,
Williams?
yeah, Leonard Williams. The guy, he was on the Jets a couple years ago.
I think that's the only one I know right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Sterling Shepard. I mean, there's him, but
Yeah, but Sterling Shepard is a receiver. He's not a
true.
defensive end. I don't know. I just don't see the Giants getting very far. I just don't. I'm not feeling it with these guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before they do anything.
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore. At this point, you just hope that they actually do something, because that team is a mess. And Giants fans know it, but Gabe Gettleman is too blind to see his own fall.
Mm-hmm.
This brings me to a question. Like, between the Giants and the Jets right now, which one's the worst?
Easily,
Your opinion.
easily the Jets.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, the Jets.
Easily the Jets.
Okay.
Yeah, they're way worse right now. And
I mean,
the thing
you
is,
come-
their ownership still doesn't understand what they have to do to properly build a team.
Yeah. And another issue with the Jets, too, is they have this mindset. And keep in mind, I live down here. I know I have a lot of coverage on both of these teams. But the one that gets the most coverage, the Jets are the ones that always praise themselves because they're so embarrassing. They're getting to a point now where it's like nobody feels sorry for them down here. Nobody gives a shit about them. They're like the Sabres. They talk about how great they're going to be. They're going to talk about the great coaching staff they put together. They talk about having a great GM and great players, and the coaches are great and everything's great, but they're fucking garbage. Think about it. You go and get Zach Wilson. You go in and get Elijah Vera Tucker through the draft. You have Mekhi Becton, who's not even playing because he's hurt. And on top of all that, the Jets have like mostly 2/3 of their receivers are either rookies or injured or tradable to say, because I was talking about nearly 40 minutes ago how they were going to try to trade Denzel Mims. So the Jets are just this big, colossal, like catastrophic shit show as far as I'm concerned. Now, the Giants are not as bad as the Jets, because if you look at that game against Washington, they were actually in a very close competitive game. So the Giants can at least be competitive, but their schedule is no better than the Jets. And the Jets are just a completely, utterly terrible, disastrous shit show.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There you have it.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, we're down to our last few minutes here on the show. But what I wanted to say is, of course, one of the big thing that's going to be new this year. Not only are we going to have a new look once we upload everything on YouTube and everything, but one of the other things we're going to be doing is keeping the shows to an hour or less this year. So we kind of figured. Unless we have like some like really major special like the draft or something like that, it's safe to say we're not going to have our 2 to 3 hour episodes anymore.
Yeah, that's a different story. But if we're just doing a show like this, it's an hour at minimum.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And and it gives you guys, more time to enjoy it. Plus, I mean, more stuff we can get in an hour, and a lot of some minor tweaks we've done this season so far. But we hope that you guys will like it. Obviously, we want you to comment and let us know what you think.
Yeah, and one other thing too, before I forget, is for Sean. Did you get my message the other day about bench clears?
I did.
What do you think?
I like it. I'm gonna see if I can get it as soon as possible.
Yeah, because they've been holding it off now for like 3 months, and people were asking, "Where did you get them? Where did you get them? Or how do I get it?" And it's only on benchclears.com you can get those. So
yeah.
So because I know they're gonna go out like that, so I know people are gonna want them. So
yeah, definitely.
I got something for you guys. I didn't mention this. Did you guys got Netflix at all?
I don't.
I do.
I used to have it. I got rid of it a while
But
back.
I'm kind of
Go ahead, Sean.
I'm saying I'm kind of boycotting it because of that one movie I'm not going to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys know what I mean.
You guys hear about? Oh, okay. Did you guys hear about that story about this? The Danbury Trashers, that whole saga.
Yeah, I heard of this. It's a documentary series on Netflix.
What a documentary! If you guys get a chance to watch that,
Wait, what's it
by
called?
the way, you won't regret it.
What's it called?
What's it called? I'll have to go back and look what the title was.
I know what he's talking about. It's about that series that just came out on Netflix. It's a documentary series.
Yeah. Let me see what the title is for it.
Talks about like a billionaire like mobster bought a hockey team for his son who was only 17 at the time, and they started winning games, and if they did certain things during the games they would get paid minimum of like tons of money and stuff like that. It was pretty much like a hockey team that was being run like a gangster, like a mafia like mobster thing, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
It's called Untold Crime and Penalties.
Okay. Untold Crime and Penalties. I'll see if I can check it out.
It's freaking nuts. It's freaking nuts. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that actually happened back then. Like, holy shit.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I would say anyone in the audience, if you guys have watched that, definitely drop us a line and let us know what you think.
I've never seen it, so I got to check it out when I get a chance. But
oh, absolutely.
And while we're on the topic of like film and TV, did you guys see the trailer for American Underdog? Did anybody see that trailer?
I didn't even hear about it.
All right. And
I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Well, to give you an idea what it is, it's a trailer. It's coming out on Christmas Day, and it's a movie with Zachary Levi. Yeah, fucking Shazam. And it's a movie about how Kurt Warner went from being a worker at a grocery store to a star in the NFL. About how he got all these tryouts from other teams, including the Packers, and worked his way up to being a Hall of Famer, basically.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely check that out.
Yeah, the trailer just came out. I think it was yesterday, almost 2 days ago, and I saw the trailer 6 hours.
It came out a day ago. According, I'm looking. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check it out soon as we go off the air.
Go off the air. So we still got like 5 minutes to go. That's insane. See how much fun you have within an hour, where you have so much to talk about within an hour, and there's like no going on.
Yep.
It actually makes the show go by a lot faster. But in general, though, I'm actually looking forward, and they've been talking about this for like 5 years now, is that John Scott movie that they've been talking about. I read the book, but I never, I haven't heard anything or seen anything about the documentary about how they were going to, or not documentary, like a movie based off of John Scott about how he was struggling in life, about how he was playing in the NHL and then made his way up to the All-Star game and got the MVP honors. You ever read that book, Sean?
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, there's a book. I think it's on Amazon. You can get it. I think it's called A Guy Like Me, and it's written by John Scott. It's a very good book. So if you're a reader or if you want to get it on Audible, you're more than happy to get it. It's actually a really good book.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea. Any other recommendations, Tom, or anybody?
Not that I can think
lately,
of right off the top of my head.
Not just that one.
What were we gonna say, Tom?
No, I was gonna say I can't really think of one off the top of my head, but there is actually one last point I want to get in before we get going for the night. So, one thing did happen within the past 8 days, actually. So, just a real quick point on it. Buffalo Sabres alumnus Fred Stanfield passed away at the age of 77 back on the 14th. So, he was definitely known for being a member of the Stanley Cup team from 1974 and 75. A lot of contributions to his success. He also played with the Boston Bruins and overall 14 seasons in the NHL. So Godspeed.
Oh, you know what? We forgot to talk about, and this is the last one, is the Sabres and the Leafs have been announced to be playing in the Tim Hortons Heritage Classic in March at Tim Hortons Arena in Hamilton.
Yes, that'll be interesting to see. It's going to be another outdoor game for us.
Are they honestly setting this up so that they can embarrass the Sabres more?
You know what? Whether they embarrass them, get embarrassed or not, it's fun to see the team get another outdoor game. You know, instead of the usual teams, they get in this kind of, parallel where it's only a select like 8 teams that got to keep playing outdoor games. It's like, come on, give everybody a chance to play here.
Yeah, basically. What do you think, Sean? Sabres getting another outdoor game?
Hey, I'm all for it.
All right. So I think that's about it as far as this week's episode is concerned.
Yeah. So, of course, anyone that follows us during the week, of course, keep it on here for the news and views. Sean, you got your new show, The Kraken's Lair. So definitely watch that on the channel. And then I know after the Horns going to be coming back in October. Bobby, you've got Coffee Chat coming up.
Yep, I have. First episode of Coffee Chat with Buffalo Bob is coming out on Friday at 11. So keep an eye out for that. And I will release the trailer on both Facebook and on Twitter. Oh, actually, it's already on YouTube. So if you guys want the link, I'll be more than happy to put it in the bottom of this video. So if you guys want to check that out or be prepared for the show, I'm all here for it.
Yep. And the Kraken's Lair episode 1 is also on the channel as well. So if you guys want to see that, just let me know and I'll give you the link.
Awesome. Yeah. And then, of course, check out our YouTube stream also. We've got that going on. Season 1, we did 54 episodes in season 1. So, and the Derek Plant interview is online finally.
Yeah, absolutely.
So check that out if you guys didn't get a chance to see it live when we did that before. But I was going to say, it was a fast hour. It was a good hour. So we'll be back next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. You guys are always welcome to join us. So for Bob, Sean, Andy, and Tom, take care of yourselves and each other. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Buffalo After Dark is an HNH studio production and distributed by Horns N Hooves Entertainment.